Welcome to another episode of the Butterfly Mindset Podcast.
Left late night, what a mess. We woke up and we're still obsessed. Can't keep it straight night and day. We keep it classy, still we stay.
Welcome to another episode of the Butterfly Mindset Podcast. Today I have Jose Samano. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Thank you so much for having me.
Happy to have you here, man.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked because we had talked about doing this a while ago, and then
Life.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is what you've built, not just as a real estate company in the real estate industry, but like culture as well.
Oh, thank you.
I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've seen like the growth, and like so I'm really excited to dive into like how you built your business and then like really how you got to where you're at, to be honest.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it just I was just my cousin Edgar got into real estate, and he gave me a shot at being a receptionist at an office. And then so I did some receptionist work, and I was like, I've been doing real estate for 22 years, if you count that as my first job in real estate. And so I was like 16, 17, and I was just, my job was to look at the packages, highlight wherever people were missing signatures, put them in boxes, label them, because we did that back, there was no hard drives, there was no cloud-based nothing, right? And then, so that's kind of how I got started, and then I got fired 6 months into it. Because
you were 16, 17, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to take the bus. I was in soccer, right? And so I had to do practice and then take the bus to go to my cousin's office, get there. Sometimes he would give me a ride. But then all my clothes were all wrinkly because I would put them in the locker. So he was like, we can't have you in here looking like that. I'm like, nobody comes at night. But at that time, people did, because everything was in person. Yeah. Right? So there was no DocuSign or none of that shit, right? And nobody had a fax machine at home, really, only unless you were in business. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. And then when I turned 18, I was working at Burberry at the mall, which was another kind of cool story. And because Macy's didn't hire me, but Burberry was like, yeah, you're the fucking guy, right? I was super stoked about that. And then my cousin goes, hey, I know you're good at math. And I was like, yeah, I can add, right? And he goes, I need a loan processor. For the first 3 months, I did my first refi. 6 months, I was running the entire refi department. 9 months, I was running the entire refi and purchase department. 12 months, I was the leader of the entire group. So, I just worked my ass off, man. I was there 7 in the morning till like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. I worked Saturdays, I worked Sundays. For me, it was just normal to work that hard. Yeah. Because I'm an immigrant. Yeah. And then my mom is worked like that. So it's 12-hour shifts. Yeah. Everybody does that. Yeah. And then so I just think that was kind of cool. And now looking back in hindsight, being a loan processor gave me the ability to do 500 to 700 transactions in my first 2 years of real estate. Wow. And so, because I was knocking out 350, 400 loans a year. Yeah. Subprime era. Yeah, of course. It was easier, right? But still, it gave me a lot of learning how to cope with stress, how to be able to work with people, get them to do things that they don't necessarily want to do. Learn how to talk to people, be a human, and you'd be surprised that people really kind of go out of their way to help you out.
So when you were 16, 17, why, some 16, 17-year-olds don't go get a job. Some do now. Mm-hmm. Some want to just be, TikTok famous, right? Again, different time, but what made you want to go and work with your cousin?
Oh, that was easy. I worked at, I don't know if you remember this, Pat and Oscar's. You remember Pat and Oscar's? I was a busboy. So it was kind of like a Greek restaurant, but they had pizza and they had stuff like that. So I was a busboy there for a little bit. I just wanted to be cool in school, and my mom was like, I'm not buying you shit. You gotta earn it. And I remember this moment too, my first time I got my big check, right? and I'm going to, I'm going to Macy's and Marshalls, and like I got my cart full of shit. It's the first year I'm gonna be fly in school, and my mom's like, "You can't wear none of that shit because you look like a gangster, and I don't like that. So put all that shit back." And I was like, I started crying, bro. I was like, I worked so hard the whole summer to just make my money, and I was just like, I was so mad. I was like, fuck that. I'm like, I'm not wearing none of that shit. And it's just, it was just, one of those moments that you remember in life, and then it's like your mom protecting you and your parents.
Yeah.
Now that I have a daughter,
Yeah.
it's like now I understand where she's coming from.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Mexico, man. I'm from Acapulco, Guerrero. Shout out. It's a very famous place. Your parents, in 60s, 70s, it was like a really popular spot. Frank Sinatra has a song, Acapulco Bay. He says it, right? Sylvester Stallone has a house there. I mean, the 90s was still popping. Who else? Elvis has a movie there.
Yeah.
If anybody knows Cantinflas, he has a house there. He's a very famous Mexican actor who crossed over back in the, I would say, 70s, 80s into American culture, which was kind of like weird back then, and so it's a very tropical town. It's a tourist town. And I always kind of tell people, like, being in a tourist town or like a place like that, you grow up with giving, like, either you're selling service or you're selling a product.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was already door knocking when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, my neighbors, and asking them if I could go to grocery shopping for them.
Oh, wow.
Because you go to the market, right?
Yeah.
And then, so everybody buys tortillas every day in Mexico. You don't go to the market and buy them like the ones here that
for like a pack of for 2 weeks or something.
The never expirables, right?
Yeah. Literally.
Right? So it's like, no, over there you gotta go and there's a mill, and you like kind of like, I guess, like bread in Europe.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like that. And like the older ladies, obviously they don't want to walk a mile.
Yeah.
So I'm 5, 6, 7 years old. I'm knocking on their door. Hey, you know what? I can go. What do you need? And then they let you keep the change, right? So that was like a way that I was like just playing video games, and arcades were big, and just being able to make your own toys too.
Yeah.
Like we would have kite wars, and people were like, "What the fuck is a kite war?" I'm like, well, basically we would create kites, and the tail, and we would put blades on the tails, and we would cut your string. Yeah, and that was the thing as a kid, and we'd slingshots, and so I had a pretty interesting childhood, man. Like I really love my childhood, like looking back in hindsight.
So like you're 5, 6 years old, like 7 years old. Like, what made you even think to go
do that?
Oh,
everybody does it. So it's like it's one of those things. When I told this story, a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, what an entrepreneur!" I'm like, no. Every kid in my neighborhood did this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just like how we make money.
Yeah.
Right? It's like your parents are not giving you an allowance to go buy a ball. Like, they're trying to feed you.
Yeah.
Right? So they're not like over here trying to buy you a soccer ball or like stuff to make a kite. Like, they don't give a shit about that. Right? So you just kind of start off kind of like that. I grew up without my mom or dad. I grew up with my grandma. Grandparents make the best parents, I like to say.
Yeah.
And so, I just kind of had to fend on my own, man, for a while. I was protected. Obviously, my grandma, she's the most amazing person in this world. My mom, but they had to make sacrifices for me to be here.
Yeah, 100%. So you were in Mexico, and then when did you move here?
When I was 9, my mom told me I was coming to Disneyland. And I was like, all right, cool, Disneyland, but I'm coming back, right? And she's like, yeah.
And your mom was here already? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my mom left me when I was, I think, 3 years old, 3 or 4 years old.
Okay.
And then she came to the States. My mom was a single mom. She had 2 kids. Acapulco was, at the time, one of the most dangerous places in the world. It still is from time to time. Fortunately, we never kind of got involved in that kind of stuff, so we're good. But it was just, it's the haves and have-nots. I grew up, not having water, electricity. Like, I'm just really grateful for where I'm at in life, and just every day is amazing. I always try to put it in perspective. Living in Orange County, it's like
it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's like, dude, we're in the 4th wealthiest country, like state, country, whatever you want, in the world, and And out of all these places, we live in Orange County.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just, where $150,000 you're considered broke.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's
Right?
crazy.
And so just I got here when I was 9. I remember I had to go to, my mom she was a nanny, and she used to babysit a Jewish couple. It was a kid my age and a kid my sister's age. And so she felt kind of very connected to them, and she was their nanny. He wrote her letter of sponsorship, and in the 90s, like it was 94, when in the early 1992, my mom applied. I don't know if it was on asylum or not. I didn't have a chance to ask her. But basically that kind of happened, and we went to Mexico City. We got some fingerprints, then went to Juarez, got some more stuff. I remember taking my shot and everything. Mind you, my mom doesn't drive. My mom just second, third grade of school, and then after that, she had to become the mother of the household.
Yeah.
Right? Because my grandma was working. She had 3 jobs. 3 jobs in Mexico is fucking nutty. It's nutty here, but in Mexico, it's like, how do you do 3 jobs?
Yeah.
Because over there, you're expected to work really long hours.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like my story, man. Then I got here. I remember we got here. We got to an apartment where there was like 4 families living in the apartment. I slept on the floor till I was 18 years old. I never had a bed, right? And that's why I'm always like, dude, like anything that can happen to me, like, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like, I'm
exactly.
like, what the fuck is worse? Like, I already slept on the floor.
Yeah.
I've already had like these type of situations of like coming from, just less, and I just try to make the best of it.
So you grew up, but what city did you grow up in?
Here in Santa Ana.
Okay.
So I grew up by South Coast Plaza.
Oh, dope. Yeah.
Yeah. So we lived at some apartments called the Courtyards, and I kind of just grew up there my entire life, until I was like 18, 19, and I had to move. But yeah, I just kind of grew up there. My mom wanted to keep me safe. My mom didn't want me to be involved in gangs or anything like that. Some of my cousins, Chicano culture was really big in the 90s and into that kind of stuff. And my mom was just like, I don't want no tattoos. I don't want you to hang out with no bald people. I was like, Mom, I'm bald now, right? Like, what the fuck, right? And then so, she was just really big on that. And she just kept me very safe, now looking back.
Yeah. So you get this first job, right, with with your cousin.
Correct.
Because you want to get clothes, basically.
Yeah,
you want your own stuff.
Yeah, I want my own stuff, dude. Yeah. I want a PlayStation. PlayStation just come out. I'm like,
so you're like, I need to work.
Yeah, I need Twisted Metal, man. I'm trying to play. Like it's all that.
And then you got fired 6 months later.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Well, I mean, I kind of understood it. I just went and got another job. I was like, all right, fuck it. It is what it is. And then I got a job that I could walk to, which was somewhere around like the. In the like hospital, like busboy, the hospitality business, Oscars type of thing. I tried to work at In-N-Out. I worked there for a day. And then I was like, fuck this. Because I wanted to be a cook.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it. I know how to flip a burger, man. And then they were like, no, you're going to cut tomatoes and lettuce. And I was like, yeah, but I want to be a cook, bro. And they're like, no, but this is the process. Yeah. And I just didn't understand it. So I was just like, nah, I'm not going to cut tomatoes, bro. Like, I'm good. Yeah. And then, I mean, I would just do little jobs. I would help another one of my cousins that was in construction go paint a house for a day. And then he'd give me some money. Yeah. Just little things like that.
And then you got back into loan processing, right?
Yeah.
And then you're doing loans. And then what made the transition from loans to like
real estate?
Residential real estate sales?
Oh man, it was 10 years later. So after loans, I asked my cousin if I could get a raise. When you work with family, sometimes it doesn't happen.
So you were doing that for 10 years?
I was doing that for 2 years.
Okay.
And then on my second year, I was like, hey, I'm getting paid $24,000 a year. I know how much you're charging for processing. I can see it on the fucking thing, And I was like, if you could just give me $50, I would appreciate it. Yeah. Per deal, which still, it's a hell of a deal. Right? Especially for me working Saturday, Sundays, because I was on salary. Yeah. So I wasn't like hourly employee. Yeah. Right? So I remember my cousin telling me that. But shout out to him. Like he gave me an opportunity. Right.
Is that the same cousin that you worked for when you were 16?
Yeah. Same
okay,
guy,
yeah.
same guy. Yeah. And then so then I told him this, and he goes, "Hey, well, everyone's replaceable. You know, we'll just find another person if you decide to go somewhere else." And I was like, "Okay." I mean, I believe that there's some truth to that, but I think that there's some people that you just can't replace.
Yeah.
You know, like people that look out for you at your job, people that care about your business as much as you do.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that. You know, it's hard to
Yeah.
find. I mean, can you replace them? Possibly. You can find another human being that does
Yeah.
this. Yeah. There's 8 billion of us, you know, but
Yeah.
do I want to go search 8 billion people to find another one like that? Not really, right? So then I went to my friend, her name was Lorena Cervantes, who basically honed my skills in processing and learning matrices and learning how to read guidelines and all that kind of stuff. She would always back me up. She told me about a company called Bear Stearns. Now, another great thing that my cousin did, just to back up a little bit, he told me to go get my real estate license. And I was like, for what? I do loans. And this was when I was like 19, so after my first year. And he's like, you should just have it. So I went. I never studied for the test. I'm great at multiple choice tests. So I just went and took it.
See.
Bro, that thing is easy, bro. I went and I took the test. I passed on the first try, right? And she was like, how the fuck did you pass? And I'm like, you didn't even study. You were drinking at my house. I was like, I know. There's some great knowledge in those drinks. And then so we passed. We took and then so then I kept working for them for a year. And then Lorena goes, hey, I you know, your skill set, what you do, how many loans you're able to do, you should definitely be getting paid more money. You should kind of look for another job. And then I went to go work at Bear Stearns, and I went from $24,000 to $80,000 a year, and that was like
immediately.
Yeah, overnight.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. Right. And then so I just really kind of worked really hard there too. Subprime, you know, pick a payment, NINA, no income, no assets, all those type of loans were kind of popping off right there. And I did that until the crash happened. And then, you know, I volunteered to be let go because people in you know, they had families, and I was just like, I was just supporting myself and my cool clothes and, you know, like me drinking out, you know, so I was just like, dude, let me go first, you know? And so that's when I decided to start working with a friend of mine named Henry, and we decided to open up a mortgage shop. This is 2008 now.
Okay.
And we opened up a mortgage shop. I don't know how to do a full doc loan, so I had to learn how to do that. And he told me he had a bunch of business, but he was fucking lying. He didn't have shit, right? And so we started just going through it. I started working with this lady. Her name is Mary Lou Bailon. She's a big time agent out in the Riverside. Shout out to her. And she started teaching me, like, again, work ethic. And she was like, we used to put 50 to 100 signs for open houses every single Saturday and Sunday. So we put so many fucking signs up that we had to make disposable signs because the city would throw them away. Yeah. Right? But that was just like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do real estate. And she taught me that, right? So it's just, you learn from everyone that you work with, right?
And you were doing that in Riverside?
Yeah. So I was her loan officer. So she was like, hey, you're coming with me. So I was like, fuck it, right? So we were...
so you were doing it with her, putting the signs out, and you're standing in the open house with her.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And, you know, we did that for a little bit. And then we just started kind of popping off on some loans. And I've always just been big on, like, niche programs. And so down payment assistance was big. Yeah. Still my record, $796.64 to get somebody into a house. Shout out. Right? And, you know, I was big with CalHFA, GSFA. I remember there was a company called Patriot Mortgage that started kind of introducing down payment assistance programs to us. And I was knocking them out of the park, man. Like, I could get anybody qualified. You know, 2008, 2009, we increased loan limits. That's when all that happened. You know, just slowly but surely started building my clientele up. I went from processing to actually being the loan officer because my friends sucked, right? So everybody would just come to me. So I was like, well, fuck it. I guess I'm going to be the loan officer. Do it. Yeah. And we didn't need an NMLS license then, right? You were just a loan officer.
That's crazy.
As long as you had a broker above you, you were good. Yeah. So Adela Olivares, who's been in the business like 30 years, she gave me an opportunity to work under her brokerage, and obviously we pay her a fee or whatever. Then some of the people in the brokerage, you know, there's always somebody being a goofball, and they started kind of taking advantage of people doing loan modifications and short sales. I don't know if you remember those days.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't cool with that, because people will come into the office like desperate, right? Like, hey, because I only know to work at the office.
Yeah.
Because that's how I grew up, right? So I'm in the office every day, right? And so I'm in there and I'm watching these people and they're knocking on the door desperate, like, hey, where's my house at? Like, where's it going? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm paying this so-called lawyer. And they were just like pocketing the money, Adela didn't know, that these people were doing that. And so we eventually told her, obviously she moved on from working with them, but I just didn't like kind of
That
being
world.
associated with that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think we should get our broker's license. Now, mind you, at this point now, 5 years with a real estate license, so you can apply for a broker's.
Yeah.
So I'm like 24 years old, 2010, and I go and get my broker's license. Right, so now I'm a broker at 24, 25, right?
Yeah.
And opened up my own mortgage shop. It was called Funded Mortgage. And just started doing that for a little bit.
Yeah.
From there, a year happens. And you know what? It could be a great idea to charge a minimum fee to agents, and then they'll just give me all the loans. What a great idea, right? So I did that. I opened up a company called The Property Shop. I ran that for 2 years. But I wasn't really doing real estate still.
Yeah.
This is like now we're in 2012, 2013. I'm still not doing real estate.
But you had agents working for your brokerage.
Correct.
Charging
$500
transaction
fee.
Okay.
Right? Like nothing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then I was hoping they would give me the loans. And so they would give me some loans. And then all of a sudden my loans dried up. And I was like, these motherfuckers, right? Like, they're not only just taking advantage of getting a $500 fee, they're also sending the loan somewhere else and making some money off of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say no names, right? I'm not a snitch, right? But like stuff, things happen in the real estate industry, right? And then so, we could cut that out, I don't know, right? and then so that happened for a while, but I'm still not doing real estate. I'm just a mortgage broker. I have somebody else in the office that's helping me manage everything as far as like looking at the agreements, making sure that they're all done. Because the last time I had done it was like 6-7 years before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. And then so eventually I got tired of it. I got tired of paying. What ended up happening was I started getting clients. And then I would tell the realtors, hey, I have a client fully pre-approved. I'll give them to you. But now you got to pay me 50% or 30%.
Yeah, like giving leads. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they were like, no. I was like, well, why the fuck do you expect me to pay you any money?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, because this is how it works. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, what? Like, and then so at that point I said, you know what? Fuck this, right? And then I opened up a company called iRealAgent.com, right? And what happened was I door knocked. I didn't like it. People would shut the door in my face. I went to like 92706, which is a nice zip code in Santa Ana. And then just people wouldn't open the door. And I was like, do you know how much I know about loans? Like, I worked for one of the biggest fucking companies in the world, right? Like, I know a lot about loans, right? And they would just not talk to me. And my whole family was in real estate, but I didn't fuck with them. Yeah. So, like, I couldn't go to them, and they had already been like jibbed my other cousin that so they were like, oh fuck that, I'm not working with family. Yeah. So I'm just like, oh man. And then again, the 2008 crash happened, so everybody lost their house, right? Yep. So everybody was just so like, we're not doing real estate with family. You guys are a bunch of thieves, and I'm like, I didn't do anything, like And then so it was just a little bit of that. And then so I sent out 32,000 flyers. I got a bunch of like dry cleaner, like, do you want me to do your taxes? Vacuum cleaners, couch, like those are the only people that were calling me back. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, I think I did this wrong, right? That's 32,000 flyers I sent them out, 16,000 each time, right? And I was just like, all right, so what else am I going to do? And some lady, her name is Susana Barahona, comes into the office and she's like, hey, Jose, there's this company called Zillow. That's online, and like you pay them, and then people call you that they're interested in real estate. And I was like, no fucking way. She's like, yeah, dude, it's like you just pay them and then they do it, right? Yeah. And I was like, fuck it, right? $500. Third person I put them into escrow, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, we got something here, right?" And then I just started kind of working them. In like 6 months, I was at like a $5,000, $6,000 spend.
Yeah.
I was hooked, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god, this got to be the easiest shit in the world, right?" I meet people, I get reviews, right? And so like it all kind of came to me at the same time, and I was like, "Oh my god, in the future, people are just gonna see all properties online, and people think that they're the real estate agent." So that's how I came up with the name irealagent.com. Like it's I am the real estate agent.com.
Yeah.
And just started kind of working with people and working through it. And that's how I remember my first contracts. I didn't know how to write them. I ended up paying somebody 50% just to write my contracts for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm getting a listing, and they're like, "But you're a broker," and I was like, "Yeah, but I don't know how to do none of this shit, bro. Like, I don't do this, right?"
Yeah.
And then so, yeah, sure enough, just went through it, and then I created this concept of, I was watching Redfin, and Redfin was giving I don't want to say a credit, not a kickback, a credit for you working with the client. So I ended up doing a credit as well, right? And so what I started telling the clients was like, when I would meet them, I would tell them, "Hey, you know what? My company gives you a 1% cash back incentive for credits to credit toward closing costs, whatever, right?" And the only kind of catch is that, to protect you, we got to sign this agreement called a BRBC, right? And back in the day, it was a buyer's agent agreement, right? So I was doing buyer agent agreements back in the day. Yeah, just to make sure that the client would get a 1%. I wasn't doing it for that. I was just not trying to get robbed on the new construction homes.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you go to a new construction, they're gonna take your client.
Yeah.
Right? Or your lead, and they're gonna work it. Right? So I gave out like $90,000 my first year. Right? And I was like super stoked. I had a big check. I still have you can still look it up. ireal-agent.com. It's not a website, but you can look up the Instagram handle, and you'll see me there with the big old checks. Handing them out to families, and I was doing down payment assistance, covering all their closing costs. Literally, people were coming in with almost like no money to buy a house, and that was part of my journey, man.
That's crazy. So you're doing that as a broker.
Yeah.
And then when did you, because now you're with a brokerage, right?
I still my brokerage.
Okay, so
Ireal Agent is mine.
Okay, so you have an independent brokerage.
2, the property shop and Ireal Agent.
Okay, so you still have those?
Yeah, I have those.
To this day?
No, I don't have them anymore, but back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, so you have these 2 different brokerages.
Yeah, correct.
And then now you're crushing it, you're doing all of this, and then when did you decide to like go with like a big box brokerage from an independent?
Oh yeah, that's a cool transition. So
because this is just you right now, right? Like it's you have a brokerage, but it's really just you, right?
Yeah, it's me and like my partner Henry. He's supposed to be handling, because at this point I own Funded Mortgage, I own the property shop, and I own irealagent.com.
Yeah.
Which the property shop was just a holding company for agents. Right, Funded Mortgage was my mortgage company where I actually made the money, and then Ireal Agent was just literally me at this point, because I'm the only one that believes that online leads work at this time. They're like, "Online? How do you sell the house online?" I'm like, "No, bro. They get introduced to you online. Like you still got to do all the work, right?" And then so that kind of happened, and then I end up getting a friend of mine that wants to work with me. I put in like a little group together with 6 people. I'm doing like 120 million. And then I get somebody called, what was his name? Mr. Mulhern, right? I start kind of looking at like, hey, should I probably join another brokerage? And Mr. Mulhern owned 23. Bruce? Yeah, Bruce.
Yeah.
Like 23, 25 Prudentials, right?
Yeah.
So he came up to me and he was just like, "Man, you remind me a lot of me when I was young, bro." Like, blah, 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 right? And then he was just such a nice guy, right?
Yeah.
And he gave me a 50-50 deal on a joint venture. And in my mind, I was like trying to pitch him, "Hey, bro, we can own all of fucking Zillow. You got 23 offices. Let's go. Let's run it up. You got the money. I'll train all of your agents. I'll tell them, what to do."
How to convert,
But he just couldn't understand it and didn't see it.
Bruce would write things, hand it to his assistant, and have her email, like.
Yeah. So it was a little forward. Yeah. I mean, he's a great guy, you know, and he had a lot of like insight. Like the MAP program was an amazing program. We have a version of that in our office.
Yeah.
And then so, which allows agents to flip houses, right? And then so, you know, I inherited 150 agents at a Berkshire Hathaway branch in Santa Ana, and then at that time, then I changed my name to the Premier Group.
Okay.
Shout out to David Keener. You know, I inherited 150 agents that all hated me, right?
Why do they hate you?
Because they were like, how the fuck are you doing this online shit? And like, that's actually hard work. Like, what do you mean? Like, you got to call all these people? Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, you guys got to dial. And they were like, I got referrals, bro. I don't got to dial. And I would be like telling them all these things, and it didn't click, you know?
Didn't connect, yeah.
Yeah, and then so now I'm running this company with 150 agents that are just complaining every day, right? And then I'm starting to get into flips, so now I'm flipping houses. So I have a flipping company, a real estate company, mortgage company, and it all kind of went downhill. So this is the second time now. So 2008, I lost everything. You know, I had a house and condo and stuff, and then now 2014, 2015, I'm starting to kind of like teeter-totter.
Yeah.
I had 5 flips at the same time, and my contractor left me. So he took me for like 100 and something thousand, right? And I'm like, where the fuck is this guy at, right? You know, it was just really tough, you know? And then there was another gentleman in the group that was like, hey, you know, because when the contractor jibbed me, his son still used to come to the site, right? And I was like, hey, he goes, hey, I need 30 grand more. And I was like, bro, like, you guys haven't done shit. Like, what do you mean? Right? And I'm trusting them because I'm not going to the site every day. Yeah. Because I'm like running multiple businesses, right? So I'm depending on them to run it, right? Yeah. And then he's like, his son was like, I need more money. So then one of the workers comes up to me who was actually handicapped, right? He had fell off of a roof. And he goes, hey, Jose, you know what? These guys ain't going to do shit. And I was like, okay. And he's all like, yeah, they're just going to take you for your money. Like, they laugh, blah, blah. So he's all like, I can finish the work if you want, blah, blah, right? So I said, sure. He's like, how much money do you need? And I wanted to help him. You know, he had a family and all that. So I fucking give him another 40 grand, right? So now I'm way over budget on these projects. And then he had a son. And then all of a sudden we close our first deal. The second one, he starts saying something about I'm making too much money, right? Because mind you, I'm 26 years old. Yeah. This is a grown-ass man. And like, I'm Hispanic too. And he's Hispanic, right? And I don't know if he just felt some type of way about it, right? And he also took me for my money. Not only that, his son then went and trashed all of the houses, took all of the ACs, HVAC units. Dang. And I was just like, for a while, I was like, is it my friend? So I didn't know who it was, right? Because I didn't have cameras at the house or nothing. And so I'm like, is it my friends? Like, am I hanging out with the wrong people? Like, who is it? Like, I'm fucking going through this process, right? Yeah. Mind you, I have hard money loans. Everything's and then my partner at the time, she didn't understand what I'm going through, how many hours I'm putting in, and I just didn't cope with it really well, to be honest. Yeah. And so I went down this like negative path and started drinking, coming into the office late, you know, and just like things like that, right? And you know, I lost everything, man, like everything. So much so, the hardest thing wasn't losing the things. The hardest thing was losing yourself, right? Yeah. Like looking back at it, right? It's just, you know, your confidence, who you are. Like you can't even talk. You don't even want to wake up in the morning. So like now, I guess I call it, that was like my depression moment, right? And you know, like I'm at you know, my sister and my brother-in-law, they're just a blessing. They're beautiful people, and you know, he feeds 3,500 families a month, right? That's what he does, right, for a living, which is amazing to have as a job. That's amazing, yeah. Right? And so he you know, my sister goes, hey, you should come to the house, blah blah. You know, you're not in a good place. You're doing too much. You know? And I just I slept in her garage, and I was still doing stupid shit. I was, it's just, it's just family. Like they're always there for you, right?
Yeah.
And so like you learn in these moments, right? And so I remember my mom seeing me just drunk, and even just at home, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of did that for a while, and it took me like 2-3 years, right? And I lived in the moment, like I had never smoked a cigarette in my life.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm smoking cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck, right? Like, just going through this journey, and finally, I just start kind of like, I met kind of like my wife. I didn't meet her; I already had met her. But she goes, "Hey, I'm starting to talk to her on Facebook, right?" And I'm venting to her, and I'm telling her about like, what I'm going through, and girls and everything. I was talking to her about girls, and she would talk to me about her situations and what she was going through, and she goes, "Hey, I think I'm gonna go to the U.S." And I'm like, "Oh, that'd be fucking dope, dude. Like, yeah, fucking come over, right?"
How'd you know her? How'd you meet her?
I met her in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So I would, during my childhood, like even after I came here when I was 9, I would go back to Mexico almost every year or every other year to go visit my family.
Yeah.
And because my mom would get a break too. Like all summer break, I would be in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And it was cheaper for my mom to
of course.
to feed me or whatever. And then my aunt over there, and then she wanted me to grow up with my cousins, and so I was just blessed that my mom was able to get my permanent resident card quickly when I was younger, and so I could go back and forth.
Back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so that's why my Spanish is still really good.
Yeah.
Right. Like I didn't lose it. Like I speak fluent Spanish. Right. And then so, I that's where I met my wife now.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're messaging her on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, fucking come here, right? So then she gets here, and I see her, and I remember we had gone to a wedding like 7 or 8 years before, and one of the things I had told my my wife now is, we ended up in the wedding, we were drinking, we were having fun, and I told her, you know what? One day I'm gonna marry you, and I'm gonna win the lotto, and I'm gonna come back for you. And she was like, yeah, whatever, right? Yeah. And then so 7 years happens, and then she comes back, and I literally looked at her, like the first thing I said to her is like, I'm not missing a second opportunity, you're gonna be my wife. And she was like, what the fuck?
She's like, dude, you were just telling me about some other girl.
She's like, bro, I just got here, I'm going to fucking Disney, you're over here like, But I was like, fuck it, bro, I'm not gonna miss another opportunity. I like you, I fuck with you, like I like how you are. You're fun. You're an entrepreneur. I don't want necessarily a housewife. I want somebody that's smart, that's witty, that's like, a hustler like me. That's what I want, right? Mind you, now she's the opposite of that, which is beautiful to see, right? Yeah. But that's what I wanted, or I thought I wanted, right? And I hang out with her for 2 weeks. And it was just like really kind of eye-opening for me. At this same time that this is all happening, there is one transaction of a gentleman named Hardip Singh that I had been working on for 2.5 years, right? It was a $13.5 million deal. And one of the things I told Mr. Ed's a Zillow deal. One of the things I told Mr. Hardip is like, hey man, I'm always going to do the right thing for you and for your family, right? Like no matter what, like I'm just going to do the right thing. And once I realized that I was way over my head, I think it was 7402 Oceanfront, which is right in front of like the beach, like where the Santa Ana River ends. It's like literally right there. And he was like, your job is to find me a house with a better view. I'm like, Hardip, how the fuck am I going to do that? Like you're literally looking at the ocean. Like you walk out and you have sand on your feet, right? Yeah. And he's like, well, could you get it on a bluff? And I was like, what the fuck is a bluff, right? Like the only bluff I knew was poker, right? Like so I'm like, what the fuck, right? And so, I'm young, I don't know these things, and I'm like, all right, well, cool. So I'll research that, right, and then figure out what I need to do. I come to Corona del Mar, Newport Beach. I went to Newport Coast literally every weekend for 6 months. Couldn't find my house. Another 6 months spent, so a year passes by, I'm still can't do shit. And then so about a year and a few months, that's when I told Hardip. And then he's still messaging me from time to time, and I'm still showing him houses from time to time. And then so I tell him, hey, Mr. Hardip, I told him, I told you I was always going to do the right thing for you. And at this point, I don't think I'm the best agent for you. I don't think I'm the best agent for you. I've been working really hard for a year and 6 months to try and find you the right place. And I just can't. Like, I've been going everywhere, knocking on people's doors and stuff. So the best thing that I could do for you is I've interviewed all 3 brokers that I think could service you. I've interviewed them for you. I've interviewed a few more. And I have one guy, and I've set up an appointment. I think it's Visalia Real Estate. They're out here in Corona Del Mar. Yeah. And I was like, I think the name of the gentleman is Timothy. And I was like, I think you're going to be better off working with somebody like that. And he was like, you did all that for me? I was like, yeah, man. Like, I told you I was going to do the right thing for you. Like, no matter what, Yeah. And he's like, just make sure that you're getting paid. I was like, cool. Yeah, cool. I'll make sure. And I remember even pulling up to every house. I had my Ford Focus. Yeah. I had a Ford Fusion. And every time I would pull up, he would pull up in his Ferrari or whatever. Right? And I'm just like, I got a Ford and you got a Ferrari, right? Like, I think I'm over my head. And I remember going into Visalia, the first time I went, and they gave me these little, like, cups of, like, for coffee with the little spoon. And I was like, y'all really pay attention to detail, huh? Right? And then so it was this little boutique office. And, I met them. They were super cool people. They're like, we're going to take care of your client. Don't worry. He goes, I only sell houses in Corona Del Mar. Like, that's the city I sell houses. I know how many houses there are. He literally started telling me all the development. He had a map of every single house and lot, and he had like little pins on them. Yeah. And I was like, man, that's so crazy. Like that opened my mind. So
specialized, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, so it's in Newport Coast, 10 million, you're not doing it? He's like, nah, I'm referring it out. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's crazy, yeah.
Maybe he changed his mind now. I don't know, right? And I'm also talking to him about Zillow, right? Because I'm talking to every single person about Zillow during these times, right? And so we end up closing on that deal right around that time that my wife came. So I had money, and I told her, hey, I'm going to go visit you. And she's like, you're just saying that. I'm like, no, like, Christmas is coming. Usually, real estate agents kind of take a little bit of a pause. And I'm going to go visit you. And sure enough, 3 days after she left, which was on the 27th of Thanksgiving, I like the 27th, like after Thanksgiving, 3 days after Thanksgiving, I was in Acapulco. I was in Mexico, knocking on her door. And I ended up staying there for 2 months. And I go through this journey of like backpacking and like finding myself. And I'm like literally in like some kid in a backpack. And I had just made $135,000, $150,000, right? So I'm in Mexico with $150,000. I'm pretty good, right? So I'm paying rent here. I'm doing my thing. And I'm like backpacking around. Like, I took no clothes. I wanted to buy clothes from like the little local stores. So I had chancletas, and I had like, like these fluorescent neon fucking shorts. And I was just living like a nomad, right? Yeah. And I did that for like 2 months. Had the best time of my life. Everything kind of like slowed down for me. And I just kind of came back like refreshed. And, I did that for about 6 months. And in that time, I told her that I wanted to marry her. I gave her a ring. She was like, you're crazy. And I'm like, I know. I'm going fast, but it is what it is, And she goes, so then we ended up being in a long distance relationship for 2 years. And it was just really hard for me. I have trust issues and things like that. And it just wasn't something that was good for me. So I was just like, you know what, dude? We're either going to do it and we're going to get married, or we're fucking leaving. Yeah. We're just done. I'm done with this shit. Yeah. And she was like, well, you're going to have to come and tell my mom. Fuck it. I'll be there tomorrow. I literally bought that ticket that day. I went to TJ, flew out, got there in the morning. She was like, oh, you're quick. I'm like, I told you. I told you, when I make a decision, I'm going in. Yeah. Right? And so I talked to her mom. It's like, her mom goes, just, if this is what you guys want, you guys have my blessing. And for you, Jose, just know that there's no fucking return label. And I was like, oh, fuck, okay. She's like, yeah, I need you to take care of my daughter, and I don't want you fucking coming back here in 2 months, or, if you guys are going to go do this, fucking go through with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. I mean, I got my apartment, so she really kind of was my why and really kind of drove me to getting back into being myself again.
Yeah.
You know, there's also this guy that I saw on YouTube because I was trying to organize my life, and this guy it's called Life Mastery.
Okay.
On YouTube.
Never heard of it. Yeah.
And he's like a Tony Robbins like apprentice or something like that. And one of the things that he said was like to write down your tasks, and one of your tasks is to write how you're gonna feel and who you're gonna be for the day. And I thought that was so powerful, right? So I started like just writing down like today I'm gonna be great, and like I would write, feed my mind, body, and soul in a way, right? And so like those like little words became like almost like novels.
Yeah.
Like, because after you start writing every day, you end up writing. Yeah, you're fucking writing. So I'm fucking like, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's my homework, bro. Leave it alone. Right? And so I'm fucking writing. I'm fucking doing poems and shit. Like I'm into writing now. Yeah. Right? And so that was kind of dope. And it gave me a lot of, like it gave me just a lot. Like I would just talk to myself, right? Like I think I wrote something like, not even in my darkest moments did I feel alone or like defeated, because I knew that I could change everything in an instant.
Yeah.
Like when you're like, when you're like that, like, you can change it, but you're just like in your pity party.
Yep.
Right. And then, but you can change it if you want to.
Yep.
Right. Like anything, right? Like how long does
it's all choice, bro. Like everything in life, everything we do is choice.
Yeah.
On a daily basis, whatever we do, on these little things, every little thing that we do throughout the day, from how we step out of the house, how we get up, what time we get up, like all of these are choices that end up becoming big decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so that was the thing. Right. And so I ended up doing that, journaling. And I mean, I had the most experience on Zillow than any other agent in that office. So then I'm at Mulhern, and I'm out and I'm just not doing shit. And so I called my cousin again, cousin from Remax, and I go, hey man, I can literally go work at any office, but I want to be around family. I saw how much my family really helped me out. I saw my wife, or my fiance at the time. I just want to be around family. I want to be around good people. And so I'm going to come and work for you, but I only have one ask. But you have Zillow. And he had Zillow. He had Zillow with 140 reviews. I single-handedly had 180 reviews.
Wow.
So this is 2016, 2017.
That's crazy.
Right? So I stopped selling houses around that time. Meaning that I put other people in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm always the co-buyer's agent.
Yeah.
Because I wanted them to get the credit, right? Which was weird too around that time because everybody was doing it the opposite way.
Yeah.
And then so, I told them that. My second weekend, I opened 4 escrows, and everybody's like, where'd you getting them from? I was like, oh, from Zillow. And they're like, oh, Zillow doesn't work. I'm like, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Right. And so, so I just started kind of daisy chaining into it.
Yeah.
Then I kind of fall back into my little relapse of depression, lose my car, and my girl was just there for me the whole time and just like, hey, giving me like, you got to do this, man. You got to stop being a bitch. Literally, that's what she told me, like, you got to stop. Like, I don't want a man like that.
Yeah.
Like, so you either got to step up or you got to go do something else. Like, I'm not your girl.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck it, bro. Like, I got to go do this shit. So then I became the #1 salesman without a fucking car. Right? And I was like, fuck it, bro. So what I started doing, this is how I started coaching people, is I would say, hey, you don't know how to do real estate, and I don't have a fucking car. so you're going to drive me around, and I'm going to fucking close the deals for you. Sounds good? And yeah, and sure enough, bro, we fucking, shout out to Brittany Scott. She was one of the agents that was still with me today. She'll tell you those stories, man. We used to, like, man, I had no money. And so there's so many stories, man, so many things that we went through to get to kind of where we're at. People think that it's like all just.
Yeah, it's not a linear, it's branches off, right? And like that's the interesting story. So you're at Remax, you're doing this, you're having other people do the transactions, you're helping them through this, blah, blah, blah. And when was Power created?
So So then we go to, so I'm there, my cousin. I'm now representing 40 something out of the 50 transactions they're doing a month.
Yeah, you're doing all of them.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, bro, like, I think you should either, mind you, Chris Gianos used to work there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it was Chris Gianos. It was, Jeff, my partner now.
Yeah.
Quite a few folk there that did really, really well. Right. And shout out to Chris. Thank you, dog. And then so we're, I told my cousin, hey, you know what? There's this we need to grow. We have a Zillow Flex account. We had just gotten Flex. We're one of the first teams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, we need like fucking 500 agents. Why don't we get all the Remaxes to unite? Because I'm always thinking team,
Yeah.
From inception of me doing real estate, I had a team.
Yeah.
So now this is my 5th team at this point, right? And I'm like, bro, we need to do a team, blah, blah, blah. Like, let's go. Let's get all the Remaxes to unite and we'll do it together. And then, like, we just run all of Zillow Flex in Southern California.
Yeah.
Not knowing that none of the brokers at Remax wanted to fuck with us, right? They were like, nah, like, why would we do that? Why would we pay you? I'm paying 100% commission. Why would somebody want to work for 40-something, right?
Yeah.
All this shit, right? So I tell him about a company called EXP. I had met a guy named Leo Robles. And Leo is really good at bringing people together. He's a great spokesman, right? And, I told him in the beginning, you can't recruit me. Like, I get to choose who I work for, right? So maybe the time one day will come when you and I are going to work together. So one of the things I saw at EXP, this is 2018, 2019, maybe somewhere around there, maybe 2020, somewhere around there. Right? One of the things I saw at EXP was that they didn't have any offices.
Yep.
This is when EXP was like 30,000, 25,000 people. I saw that they didn't have any training. They didn't have any culture. So they were just kind of like all these fucking nomads, right?
Yeah.
But there was already like 3,000 to 4,000 agents in California, right? So I was like telling my cousin, I was like, well, why don't we just go over there? Then there's not multiple brokers. There's only one broker of record. So that means all of these agents could be a part of our Zillow Flex team.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? And I'm like, yeah, dude, all of these agents could be a part of our Zillow Flex team. So we decided to try it out. And in 4 months, we brought 100 agents. And we were already producing more than the Remax office.
Yeah.
And we were going to move over to EXP. We even did a party and everything like that. But in EXP because of sponsorships. And so my cousin didn't really like that too much, and then so we just decided to go our separate ways. And I ended up opening up an office with Leo. Mind you, I asked my cousin, hey, can I stay in this Anaheim office? And he was like, no, you got to leave. I need the space. And so that was kind of like, heartbreaking for me because, he was my family,
Yeah.
And I was like, but that taught me a very important lesson about life and how you need to let people grow and and clap for them all the time. And people are seasons and they're, some of them have longer seasons and some of them are going to be with you forever. But like, I would be a hypocrite to hold anybody back.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't do that. I don't do that for agents that leave my team.
It's short-sighted.
It is.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it happened with Chris, right? Chris wanted to open up his own branch and that opportunity wasn't there for him. And so then that becomes that, right? And then so Chris goes on and does eHomes in Newport Beach and does like $1 billion.
Yeah, does eHomes and then now he's humanized, right?
He's humanized, yeah. So I'm like, dude, you kind of missed the boat on that one. Right? But, these are all lessons, right? And then so we then, when my cousin tells me that, my mom had just passed away through COVID. So my mom passed away on February 4th. I got my Zillow Flex account on February 10th under my name. I had been told in January that I was going to get one. And I'm super excited. I'm telling my mom about this. Then my mom gets COVID. So now we're in the hospital and we're like, what the fuck? My sister's birthday is the 3rd. My mom passes away on the 4th. My birthday is on the 6th. And I get turned on to Zillow Flex on the 10th. And on March 17th, my cousin tells me to leave. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Right? And on the 19th, he tells me, I need this office and you need to leave. And so basically he said, nobody here is welcomed except for you and your wife. And I said, well, if my team is not welcome, then I'm not welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Because these are the people that I'm working with every single day. I'm in the trenches with these people.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, sure enough, I called all my my lenders, and I, in 2 hours, raised $400,000. Right. I just started calling all my lenders. I go, hey, I'm going to open up my own shop. I'm going to need a $50,000 contribution so we can get this shit popping. I'll give you guys all the business. You know, I didn't want to do it from one person. But, you know, we did a little bit of a joint venture with my friend Neil from Trusted Rate.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to him, man. I'm always in debt, you know, to him, Neil Landers. You know, thank you, man. But, you know, we got money. You know, we got it all back. He let me work at his office. I was in a little cubicle taking Zillow calls. But for me, it was just like, all right, fuck it. It was just hard work. You know, I got to show up early. I got to get out here late. And it is what it is. I had 2 showing agents. And then, you know, I was partnered up with Leo, Limaiti. They helped me find a place. So we started looking out for an office, right? And then so I'll get to like, that's when we kind of changed into power, right? So we started looking around for an office, and it's during COVID. So we got a really nice, like at the Wells Fargo building right there on State College. So we got there was a really nice building, the one we're at right now. They told me that they needed $80,000. I only had about $150,000 that I had gotten as a joint venture to be able to open up the real estate company, right? I didn't use all the money because I didn't want the money in my hands. I wanted the money in a bank account that they controlled.
Yeah.
Right. And because I wanted everything to be itemized, and then so we start looking for places, and the very last day that I'm actually going to go into another building because it was 23,000 versus 80,000.
Yeah.
They call me in the morning and they go, hey, Jose, are you going to want the place? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, you guys are way over my budget. And they were like, well, what's your budget? And I said, well, there's another place down the street that's giving me $23,000. They're giving me 1 year lease for free. They're tacking it on the end, right? And because I'm a new company. And mind you, I had just built an LLC. I had just crapped out all my credit. So my credit was shit, right? And so my LLC was like 1 day old. And they said yes. And so I was like, what the fuck, right? And then so I was like, fuck it, we'll take it, right? And then so we have this 3,400 square foot office. We don't have internet. We don't have a copier because I couldn't even get a copier under my credit. That's how bad it was, right? And then so I could get the building. I was like, how the fuck do I get a building but not the fucking, what the fuck? Right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right? So that's all happening, and we just start building it slowly, man.
Yeah.
Role playing every single day, every single Saturday and Sunday. I was doing a class, teaching people. Mind you, it was mainly EXP agents, but once people started seeing how many people were showing up and the impact that it was having on their business, it was just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is where we need to come. And then it became basically the EXP office. Like,
Yeah.
we were the only EXP office. We even put an EXP sign,
Yeah.
right? And everybody thought we were EXP corporate, right? So and then obviously now people kind of follow with that model. Now they understand that cloud-based brokers doesn't mean that it's all cloud-based.
Yep.
Right? Like, you actually still need a physical location. It's fine for people that are doing, you know, that work from home and that they're doing that sort of business, but most people need help.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's when we opened up Power. My first name was called Icon
Okay.
because I was trying to make icons.
Yeah.
And then EXP told me that I couldn't use that name because that's the name.
The Icon Agents.
Yeah, Icon Agents. So they were like, no, you have too much similarity. So then I voted. I created a vote in the office. We were using Slack. And one of the names that came up was Power Real Estate Group. And that's how we came up with it. And then I went to 99 Designs. I don't know if you know 99 Designs. It's a company that where you upload a logo, and there's a bunch of freelancers that all create different logos. And so I said, hey, I'm a real estate company. I work a lot with Zillow. And so I want to create a logo design for my company. It's called Power Real Estate Group. And that's how our logo came about.
Oh, what a trip.
Yeah. And then so it's just very similar to Zillow.
Yeah.
But it was because, 99 Designs, they designed it, they did their thing. And, I'm just, Zillow's still nice about it, right?
Yeah.
It's a P, it's not a Z. But it's very similar. Yeah, and then that's how we came up with it, man. That's how Power Real Estate Group came out.
That's amazing. And so then, since then, now how many agents do you have now?
Currently in our network, we have about 500, but I've recruited, or, we've recruited about, I would say close to 1,800, 1,900 agents so far in the last 4 years. We've closed over 2,500 transactions, and from literally nothing. Like, this group came about 4.5 years ago, about.
What's that volume-wise, transaction volume?
A few billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now. I mean, if you look at all of it.
Yeah.
We do about 550 million a year. My first year, we were already getting close to that, just in the first year, because we recruited 285 people in 6 months. I'm telling you, Leo's a beast on that. Like, he's a great microphone. He's great at recruiting. He's great at, throwing events and things like that. He does an amazing job on that. But to me, that's the second piece. That's the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But you need the gas, right, to get somewhere, right? And then so I was like, Zillow and our training and all of that kind of stuff is the gas. So we give you that, and then the whole thing is like, we just need a driver now, right?
Yeah.
And that's actually the way that I kind of explain it to people. Like, look, this Power Real Estate Group, Real, this is just the vehicle that gets you there, right? And these are all the different components that you can make money here, here, here. These are all your different gauges. You're making money on stock. You're making money here. But from there, now you need a little gas, because if not, you don't get anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to pump you in with marketing. We're going to do videos for you. We're going to do Zillow Flex, because I like to tell my team, as long as the outcome is income, it's welcomed, right?
Yeah.
And then so, hey, if you're making money, cool, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how we went in that direction, with just really kind of cranking out not only just content, but like doing events. One of my claims to fame is signing 27 listings in 35 days.
Yeah.
Some over 45 days, something like that, through a company called Clever.
Yeah.
Shout out to Clever, y'all are dope. They basically give me listing leads.
Yeah.
And they gave me 37, and I closed 27 of them. So they were like, what the fuck? Right? And then so they're some of the best leads in the country, but like, it's really hard to get in that.
Yeah.
Like, they don't just give it to any agent. But if you have the credentials, man, I'll definitely try to work with them.
Yeah. That's dope. So you've really capitalized on like the portals, right?
Yes.
Like, it's mainly Zillow and Clever and
Online lead generation.
Yeah.
At the moment I realized, this is 2014, that I was like, okay, so I got to make a decision. The internet is the future. So anything that I do that's not internet, that means I'm going backwards.
Yep.
Cool. I'm going this way.
Yeah.
So I just went all in. Right. I was already doing Google PPC, Facebook ads. I was doing all of that, but I hadn't cracked them yet. Like, I didn't know how to do them. They were way more difficult back in the day. And so I had messed with them, but Zillow was just so easy. So I just went that direction.
So what's crazy is like you have like probably a huge database now, right? Of all these different leads that not all of them have closed.
Correct.
So like, how do you capitalize on that on top of everything?
Oh, this is such a great question. We have about 300,000 leads, somewhere around there, right? From that have been collected.
Yeah.
Right. And actually, we're just always generating leads. Zillow has been a very big teacher, like a big brother to me. Like, tracking numbers, being organized, having organizational charts, workflows. These are all things I learned from Zillow.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't something that any brokerage really taught me. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then so I started kind of like recently, probably like 6 months ago, I'm like, dude, what are we doing with our, like, we keep buying more leads. What are we doing with our leads? And I really started focusing on user experience, right? And I'm like, what does the client feel when they come into our office? Like, what is the welcome email that they get?
Yeah.
What is the text message that they get? And we didn't have one. Being a team this big, we didn't have one.
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy.
And I'm like, I mean, you have the generic ones, but like, I'm like, nah. That's what I'm telling you. I'm like in my yogi stage. I'm like, how do you feel? Right? Like, I'm like all about that right now. And then so I just started curating our process. So with a database our size, you find out that you don't need a pipeline manager. You need a pipeline architect,
Yep.
which is a little different, right? So this is someone who needs to know automation, someone that needs to know pipeline, that needs to know scripting, that needs to understand aesthetic, that needs to understand feel, that needs to understand user experience, UI, like, right? So all of these things they need to understand. They need to understand how to do HTML templates, how
Yeah.
AI works, like, and so there's very few people that know all of those things, how they all kind of work together. So at this point, I'm the pipeline architect.
Yeah.
And alongside my marketing team, which is another cool little story. So now we have a marketing team of about 13, 14 people, 7 different editors. We have one videographer, 2 videographers now. They do stuff for us and for other people.
Yeah.
Social media stuff. We have what is it? A content creator. We have an ads manager. She looks at all of our Google PPCs. She looks at, well, mainly our Facebook and, campaigns like that. She does all of that. I don't have an email marketing person. I'm still waiting on that person.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the three people that make up our team is a pipeline manager. He's just tracking lead to speed, and he's tracking like where all the hand raisers are, where they're going. Whenever an automation breaks, he gives it to the automation person. Their job is to figure out like why is the automation, because sometimes you might be in like 2, 3, 4 hours of like figuring out where the fuck the automation doesn't work.
Exactly.
And like I can't have my pipeline guy do that.
Yeah.
Like we need to give that to somebody else. And then like I don't want my pipeline guy and my automations guy designing it.
Yep.
I need another designer, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's like this 3-headed monster that we've kind of figured out, and they kind of meet with me on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Right? Because we figured out that we get 350 hand raisers per day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm like, what the fuck, right? Like, where are all these people going? Like, who's calling them? Where they're at? And when you're not like tracking that, like we're just running around.
Yeah, you're losing
money,
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told Jeff, I get assigned to all these special projects. Jeff is my business partner, my brother. Like, he's a big inspiration to me. He's so like determined on everything.
Yeah.
He'll slap me around a few times here and there. He's so crazy, right? But it's like I always try to internalize and be like, all right, what is this moment teaching me? What is he trying to tell me? And then just try to get better.
Yeah.
And then so, it's one of those things that it's like I was telling Jeff. Jeff is like the CEO, so he kind of runs the day to day, and that gives me the ability to be able to like think about these things.
Yeah.
Right? It gives me kind of free space. And so I was just like, okay, well, we need to attack our pipeline. I've always felt like a pipeline manager in the sense of real estate. They're not really managing it. They're just like counting numbers, and they're like, oh, we got 20 leads and we did this many appointments. And I'm like, I guess, but what I want to know is like, I found 200 leads that I created a, automation that's going to send 200 text voicemails and a video, and is going to be like direct to what they're talking about. And from there, I'm going to farm like 50 appointments, and then I'm going to assign those to these agents. Like, that's what I want. I want somebody attacking my fucking pipeline every day, right? Like that to me, I don't want an automation doing it. You can't have an automation doing that right now. Maybe we can have AI.
We can have AI. AI that exists, right? Yeah. Like where AI can do that, right? But a lot of people don't have that technology ready yet.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then but then to me it's like, we do a lot of like, like I guess stacking lists they call it, right? Where you're in, shout out to my boy Diego who taught me that. It's where you like scrape lists and you go, okay, cool, these people have been living here for this long, great. Okay, all of these people from that list have foreclosures, and then all of those people from that list have this, right? So it's a very like targeted list, right? And so that to me, and then it's like, cool, well, I don't want to send you a simple message. I want to send you like a message that you're going to feel something with, and that you're going to like want to interact with me. So like, that's kind of where I'm at. So I've created multiple journeys. So I have my initial journey. I have my educational journey for clients once they become into my ecosystem. Yeah. And then I've created a hand raiser journey, like I call it a pond fishing journey. And then
That's what it's crazy about where technology is now, right? Like think about this, and this is not to make you feel depressed right now, but all of that work in 6 months, you won't need it.
Yeah.
Because AI.
Yeah.
Right? Like AI will be able to take what you have and then repeat it. It's like having the perfect freaking employee that does everything right every single time.
Yeah.
Instantly. It's insane.
Yeah. So I'm a big so everybody likes ChatGPT, which is cool, but I'm betting on Google.
Oh yeah. Well, they're the ones that have supercomputers, right? Which people don't realize this yet. They don't understand that Google's about to come out with this supercomputer.
Yeah.
And they have all of our data.
Exactly. So I'm a Gemini Ultra guy. Yeah. Right? And then so I use Gemini every single day.
Yep.
Right? I have so Gemini when you're on Gemini Ultra, you also get a like a bot that lives in your Chrome.
Yeah.
Right? And so like literally I have it read all my reports for me.
Yep.
I have it analyze all my reports for me every single day. Like I'm like, look, dude, I want graphs, bars, and circles. That's what I'm looking for. Like, I don't want to read all this shit, bro. Like, this is too much for me. Like, I can make a decision. I feel like I can make a decision very quickly because I've been through before the internet. Because when I was showing houses, we were before the internet.
Yeah.
We're still using Thomas Guides.
Yep.
Then I was like MapQuest. Internet, right, happened. And then it was social media. And now we're in AI. And I mean, I use AI every day. I use multiple AIs every single day. And so
I keep saying that though, like that big, you've seen the shift of like, okay, internet, then like DocuSign, like you've seen the shift in the industries.
Yeah.
Bro, I think that the AI shift is going to be 20, 30, 40x like this. Like it is going to completely change our industry. I mean, like, again, just using this example of how many people you need to be able to run this pipeline and be able to be efficient. You could have one technology.
Yeah, technology. Yeah.
Right? And one person to manage that technology.
Yeah.
And you're rocking and rolling.
Oh, no, yeah. Dude,
we'll do it every single time.
Yeah, so Notebook LM, another one. If you're not using Notebook LM, you're behind. Really behind, right? And so Notebook LM is something that you get from Google. And you're able to literally create like a brain, like your own little person, right? And you just feed it all this information and it like breaks it down for you. It now creates a video explainer. So it used to create a podcast. So literally you feed it all this information and then you tell it to narrate it for you and it does a podcast. And then they added a feature that you can add yourself as a third person in the podcast. And then you could talk to it. And I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. Right? And then from there, they're like, oh no, but we're not done yet. Now we're going to make it do a video explainer, explaining to you the thing, like these 400 pages of like whatever document or all of these websites it scraped, or all of these YouTube videos it grabbed. Yeah. Instead of you actually watching 3, 4, 5, or 50 hours of YouTube videos, it'll like break them all down into just one precise thing, and then you have a podcast that's exactly about the thing that you wanted to learn.
Yeah, it's like, crazy.
What the fuck, right? So literally I have like anything I want to learn, I just throw it all in there. And then I just start asking it questions. I'll create a podcast in the morning. So on my way to work, I'm listening to like analytics about my social media, how to get better, like what to do, or like analytics about, your Zillow team.
That's kind of crazy, right? Like think about how personalized you could create your own content that you're consuming every day.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That is cool.
Because you're consuming knowledge about your business, about but in the way that you like to consume it.
Correct.
Some people might want to read the reports, but you don't.
No.
You want to hear it, you want to see the graph, and you want to call it a day. And it's giving you the content in the way that you want to hear it, which is amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. Because then I had to do, so there's deep research. Yeah. And then there's, Google came up with this thing called Deep Think, which actually got a gold medal standard in like math and shit, right? So it's like fucking genius, right? And then so like I'll grab everything and then I'll give it like I'll first research it with the regular prompt. And I actually took a course from Google. It's expert prompting. Yeah, it's like $44. You guys should check it out definitely. And it teaches you how to prompt, right? So I grabbed that, taught me how to prompt. Cool. Then I went into I started doing just like creating my own gems or GPTs.
Yeah.
Right. And Google is they're called gems, right? So I started creating my own gems. So I have a daily gem that literally looks at all my emails and gives me a summary of everything that I talked about the day before. It tells me like all of my appointments that I'm gonna have. Because I summarize all of my meetings, it reads all my notes on all of my meetings, gives me a task. Like I created all these gems. So I'm just like, give me my to-do for today. And it's just like, and I'm like,
it's crazy.
Oh shit, right? So that's why I think Gemini to me as a realtor is better than GPT because it's connected to your Google Drive. And so you use Google Drive, you use Excel on Google, Excel sheets or anything with Google, then Gemini is the way to go.
Right? Oh yeah, I'm super bullish on the freaking on Alphabet, bro. Like Alphabet, the Google it's gonna win. Like it's right now. OpenAI's here, but like as soon as Google decides they're all in, it's game over.
Yeah, because
they already have the data from forever.
Yeah. So I even think that they kind of stalled because they had AI already, right?
Yeah.
So they were like, we don't know if we want to release it because then we don't know how dangerous it could be.
Yeah.
Right. And then so now they see all these other people doing it. So it's either like, all right, if all these other people are doing it, you gotta do it now because if somebody needs to save the day, then it's gotta be you.
Yep.
Right. So you gotta
100%.
be so somebody gotta come in and be like, hey, because now they're talking about how people are trying to create like crazy things with AI that are not good.
Yeah.
Because like it's like a knife, right? Like you can either use it to stab people, or you can use it to cut sushi.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just one of those things, right?
Yeah.
It's just gonna be dependent on people. Right. And so that's kind of the thing with AI that you just kind of don't know. And you're right. Google has a supercomputer. Nobody does that. Right.
Yep.
I think the last time they ran it on a problem, it somehow did the problem faster. So they're thinking now that it went into different dimensions. You heard about that?
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. We could talk all day. I have two more questions for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, where can people connect with you?
My social media, man, Jose Roberto Samano on Instagram.
How do you spell it?
JOSEROBERTO SAMANO. And then from there, just go to my office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Our training is open to anybody. We don't try to necessarily recruit you. If you find value in what we do, it's cool. If not, cool,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that we do. Every single agent in our office has access to AI.
Yeah.
We do a paid membership for them.
That's tight.
That's how good, that's how much we're invested in AI.
Yeah.
Right? Like we know that that's the future. So the big two things that we're moving the needle on is social media and AI. We pumped out 286 videos for our agents last month. We edit all of their videos.
That's dope.
We want them to be in front of clients, not focusing so much on that other aspect of it. Because editing takes a while. Like sometimes you 100%. Might fuck around, be there 3 or 4 hours,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. And then my last question for you is someone's built a great business and it all failed. Mm-hmm. What's your piece of advice you'd give them?
Punch twice. You get punched in the face once, punch twice, right? So the thing I've learned is we want to comfort ourselves in our little pity party of like, we failed, we didn't do so well. And like when I see things not going well, instead of me like coming in later, drinking, coping with things in a different way, I just double down. Like I just show up earlier. Like fuck it, I gotta be here at 4 a.m. to make sure that everything's gonna be good. Or like just put that extra, not even to make sure everything's gonna be good, because that's a bad way to say it, but like am I giving it my all?
Yeah.
I don't wanna have like, I kind of tell this to people is, the most expensive thing is regret, right?
Yep.
So I just want to make sure that I'm always going to have some sort of regret, but I just want to make that very minimal if I can.
Go all in.
Yeah, go all in.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for being on, man.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hopefully that was dope.
No, that was sick.
Yeah, man. I talk a lot, bro. I don't want to shut up, bro.